Randy Orton is walking around SmackDown like he owns the place, smirking, manipulating, pulling strings behind the scenes, and Cody Rhodes has had enough. If you're as fired up as we are, smash that like button and subscribe right now because this story is about to explode. The American Nightmare didn't just snap, he detonated. And what happened backstage after SmackDown went off the air is the kind of moment that changes the entire direction of WrestleMania season. So if you thought you knew where this rivalry was headed, think again. Because Cody Rhodes just rewrote the script, and Randy Orton is going to feel every single word of it. Let's go back to what set this off. For weeks, Randy Orton has been operating in the shadows of SmackDown like the apex predator he is. Calm, calculated, cold. He's been planting seeds of chaos, feeding disinformation to the locker room, and pulling the kind of psychological warfare that only a 20-year veteran with zero conscience can pull off. Orton doesn't need to scream. He doesn't need to threaten. He just smiles that dead-eyed smile, and people around him start to crumble. That's what makes him dangerous. That's what makes him elite. And for a long time, Cody Rhodes tried to be the bigger man. He tried to stay focused. He tried to keep his eyes on the prize and not let Orton get inside his head. But Randy Orton is very, very good at getting inside people's heads. How many times has Randy Orton won the WWE Championship throughout his career? Think you know? Let us know below. Now here's where it gets real. During SmackDown this past week, Orton crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. It wasn't just what he did in the ring. It was what he said. Sources close to the situation have confirmed that Orton made comments, personal comments, that went beyond wrestling, beyond rivalry, beyond even the ruthless aggression that WWE is built on. He brought up Cody's legacy. He brought up Dusty Rhodes. He weaponized the memory of the American dream and used it like a sledgehammer against Cody's soul. And the worst part? He did it with a smile. He did it like it was nothing, like it was just another Tuesday. Cody Rhodes heard every word. And something inside the American Nightmare, something that had been held together by sheer discipline and focus for months, finally, completely, catastrophically broke. Cameras were still hot when SmackDown officially ended. Production crews were breaking down equipment. Talent was moving through the gorilla position heading to the locker room. And that's when it happened. Cody Rhodes, still in his gear, still with the paint barely dry on his face, cornered Randy Orton in a backstage corridor not far from catering. There were no cameras rolling for broadcast. No referee. No authority figure to step in and keep things professional. Just two men, one of them seething beyond reason, the other one realizing, perhaps for the first time, that he had finally pushed too far. Eyewitnesses backstage described the confrontation as unlike anything they had seen in recent memory. Cody wasn't yelling. He wasn't cutting a promo. He was speaking in a low, controlled, terrifying tone that multiple people described as more frightening than any screaming match they'd ever witnessed. And then, Cody snapped. He drove Orton hard into the corridor wall. Security scrambled. Road agents rushed in from both ends of the hallway. It took multiple people to physically separate the two men, and even then, Cody had to be practically dragged away, still locked in on Orton with a stare that reportedly made people in the hallway uncomfortable. Randy Orton, for his part, did something almost no one ever sees from the Viper. He was shaken, not defeated, not apologetic, but shaken, because Orton has always been the one who controls the temperature of every situation he's in. He decides when things escalate. He decides when they cool down. And tonight, for the first time in a long time, he was not in control. Cody Rhodes ripped that control right out of his hands, and Orton didn't see it coming. Let that sink in. Word spread through the locker room like wildfire. Within minutes, people who had been completely uninvested in this rivalry were suddenly paying attention. Because this wasn't a worked angle with a planned finish. This was real tension boiling over in real time. And in a business where the line between reality and performance is already razor thin, moments like this carry a different kind of weight. They change how people look at both men. They change how the audience at home will process every single segment moving forward. What is the name of Cody Rhodes' finishing move, and what legendary move did his father Dusty Rhodes make famous? Double points if you get both right. Now let's talk about what this means going into WrestleMania 42. Because this backstage incident doesn't exist in a vacuum. It is the latest chapter in a rivalry that has been building with surgical precision, and the aftermath of what happened after SmackDown has thrown every assumption about this feud's trajectory straight out the window. Before this, the expectation was that Cody and Orton would have a heated but structured build, promos, in-ring confrontations, maybe a sneak attack or two, standard WWE premium event architecture. But now we're in uncharted territory, because Cody Rhodes is no longer playing by a script. He's not thinking about optics or merchandise or how he looks to the casual viewer at home. He is operating on pure, unfiltered emotion, and in wrestling, that is the most dangerous state any performer can be in. It means unpredictable decisions. It means matches that go to places nobody planned. It means Randy Orton, the greatest tactical mind of his generation, is suddenly facing a version of Cody Rhodes that his usual playbook has absolutely no answer for. How do you play mind games with someone who no longer cares about the game? You don't. You survive. And survival for Randy Orton right now means recalibrating everything. Because the Cody Rhodes who walked into SmackDown this week was a man with a plan. The Cody Rhodes who walked out and who lit that backstage corridor on fire is something entirely different. He's a man with a mission that has now become deeply, painfully personal in a way that no championship, no main event, no WrestleMania moment can fully contain. The road to WrestleMania 42 just got darker. It just got louder. It just got more dangerous for everyone involved, and most of all, it got more dangerous for Randy Orton, who spent weeks trying to break Cody Rhodes and has now realized he may have succeeded in the worst possible way. He didn't break Cody Rhodes down. He broke Cody Rhodes open. And what comes out of a man like that, a man raised by a legend, carrying the weight of a dynasty, fueled by betrayal and grief and fire, is something Randy Orton is not prepared for. WrestleMania 42 cannot get here fast enough. This rivalry is no longer about who's the better wrestler. It's not about championships or legacies or headline spots. It is about one man trying to prove that everything he's built, everything his father stood for, cannot be mocked, cannot be weaponized, and cannot be taken from him. Cody Rhodes is coming for Randy Orton. And this time, he's not coming to perform. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to answer both trivia questions in the comments, share this with every WWE fan you know, and if this got your blood pumping, you already know what to do. Stay locked in, stay passionate, and we'll see you in the next one.